Hello and welcome to the webinar. Today we're going to talk about how you can combine email marketing and Facebook advertising to amplify your message and drive new customers to your lists. Today's program is made possible by Constant Contact, where they believe that with Constant Contact, really anyone can be a marketer. My name is Lorraine Ball and I'm going to be your host for today's program. If you have questions after the event, please feel free to reach out on Facebook or Twitter. As we're getting started with today's program, the important thing to keep in mind is that at its core, marketing, especially for a small business, is about getting results. We can't afford to invest in advertising that doesn't help move prospects closer to becoming customers. What kind of results? Well, it would be great if every time we spent money on marketing we got a sale, but very often we really need to focus on the interim steps, getting people to click on something on our website or download information, visit our store, make an appointment, or simply call our office. Something that helps them get to know us a little bit better and moves them through our sales funnel so that they will ultimately buy from us, or if you're running a not-for-profit association, make a donation. You can reach customers and amplify your emails with social media. People used to think once social media started gaining prominence that email was dead, and that really isn't the case. These two types of marketing work hand in hand. Email is where you talk to people you have relationships with, and social media is where you meet new people. So let's take a look at how we put these two pieces together. Starting with email. When you think about the things that you can do with email, you can boost repeat business. If you've already sold to people, running a promotion through your email to let those customers know about a sale is a great way to increase your business. It's a great way to build awareness if you have new products or services, or in the case of this real estate agent, that you have a new listing. And it's a wonderful way to kind of spike revenue and profit. For example, if you have too much inventory, or as in the case of this spa, if you have open time slots on your schedule, email helps you fill it. Facebook plays an important role in your marketing as well. 49% of consumers surveyed say that they've liked at least one company business page, and 41% of them say they want regular updates from brands they like. So what can Facebook do for your business? Well, firstly, it's a great place to build awareness. It allows you to let lots of people know, not just your customers, but their friends and family, about things that are going on in your business. And particularly with Facebook advertising, you can do some very specific geo-targeting and demographic targeting to promote your product or service to people who are likely to buy. And you can drive measurable results. When you're doing Facebook ads, you can drive traffic to a specific page on your website. You can sell products, sell tickets, have people download discount coupons and Facebook-only promotions, so you can really begin to judge, are you getting measurable ROI from your activity? Today, we're going to talk about some basics of creating effective email. We're going to talk about improving your Facebook marketing. And then we're going to talk about how you put it all together to create Facebook ads and some next steps, kind of some homework assignments for you. Also, if you enjoy listening to the program, send me an email after the program and I will send you 3 workbooks. One on online advertising in general, a detailed dive on Facebook advertising, and our newest one on LinkedIn. Let's get started. Let's look at email. Email marketing is really about driving professional email communications to an interested audience. These are people who have signed up and given you permission to send them email. And to respect that permission, you need to be sending them information that's relevant to them and that looks great in any inbox. As you are designing your email campaign, you want to create something that's going to look good whether someone views it on their desktop or a mobile device. You want to make sure that the branding is consistent so that it's recognizable. Your logos and your colors should be the same on your website, your email, and your social media. So to get started, select a mobile-friendly template, a design that matches your message, and make sure that it is executed consistently, that your brand looks the same everywhere. As you're creating your email newsletters, a little conversation about how much is too much is important. In email marketing, less is actually more. You want to keep your content to 20 lines of text or less, and you want to keep pictures to a minimum. Not get rid of them completely, but 2 to 3 pictures. And if you are going to use pictures, they need to be relevant. The days of putting just cheesy clip image in the newsletter just to have something there are long gone. If the picture doesn't support or enhance your message, don't bother. Also, a couple of other things to keep in mind with your images. They do increase the amount of attention your email will get. 82% of people say they pay more attention to emails with pictures. But you've got to remember that there is a group of people that don't download images. When they get your email, what they're going to see in this boxed area is simply a blank square. So make sure that every time you use a picture, you also add alternate text to describe that image to readers. Keep the number at 3 or less. Things that really work well, photographs of your products and services, your employees. We get phenomenal results, especially in home service companies, anytime we feature pictures of employees, because people really want to know who's coming to their house. And don't use images of your content. And what this means is if you've got a really cool flyer that you've created for an event or a party, do not take that JPEG with all that information, drop it in an email and send it out, because 1/3 of the people who don't download the image will simply get a blank square. Pictures need to be on your email, just that, an accessory, not the main course. Anything that you really need people to read and to know needs to be in text above or below the picture. And it's not always about you. A lot of times your email newsletter is about information that you have access to. Maybe you read a lot of publications on industry trends. The important thing is to focus on being relevant to your customers. Focus on giving them just the right amount of information. Turn questions into content. Think about the most commonly asked questions, the things people always want to know, and answer those questions in your email. And finally, remember that images are content too. So if you're going to use them in your email, they need to add value. Simple recipe for some layout success. Single column template. This single column makes it much easier for someone to read it on their mobile device. And the truth is, about half of your customers are opening emails on their mobile devices. 3 or fewer images, less than 20 lines of text. And keep your links to a minimum also. The days of having hyperlink, hyperlink, hyperlink everywhere in an email are long gone. Use them very sparingly. And honestly, it's way better to use a button than a hyperlink. You'll get significantly more interaction with these call to action buttons. Make sure there is at least one call to action. They say above the scroll line, different devices, that's going to be in a different place. So I always tell people, make sure there is a call to action in the top 1/3 of your email. And pay attention to your results. Take a look at how many did you send, how many people opened, and look at each and every campaign. And look at the clicks. Not just, you can see how many people opened it, but what you want to know is how many people actually clicked on it and were motivated to action. I always look at this page every time I send out an email campaign. I want to know, what are people interested in? And then the thing I love best is I can also click here and find out who was interested. So you can see on these results from the yoga studio, 12 people clicked on the online booking tool. If this was my studio, the next thing I would do is I would go to my online booking and see, did these 12 people schedule appointments? If not, if half scheduled appointments and half didn't, the next thing I would do is I'd get on the telephone and say, hey, we sent you an email this morning. It had some information about booking an appointment. Were you interested? A lot of times if people are reading your email from a mobile device, they may click on an event or a registration form and then decide it's too much trouble to do from your mobile device. I do that with my seminars, and very often somebody will say, oh yeah, I was sitting in the coffee shop and I didn't want to bother registering then, but I was going to do it when I got home. Really? I'll say, can I do that for you right now? And a lot of times I can get people to register and make appointments because they've already kind of shown that they were interested. And I get them before they forget that it was something they wanted to do. The metrics that matter. Take a look at the open rate. How many people really care? If your open rates are running significantly below the industry average, take a good look at your list and see if there are people who really never open it. If that's the case, it's all right to let them go. The click-through rate really tells you how good the content is in each individual email. Are you giving people things they're interested in? Every now and then, if you're very lucky, you'll get a share. This is more and more rare these days. Also pay attention to the negative metrics. Look at how many people are opting out. And don't get frustrated when somebody opts out. It's a gift. They're telling you that they're not interested. You can stop focusing attention on them and you can move on to someone who is. And look at your bounces. If your bounce rate gets too high, it typically means that you are probably working with an old list, and it's time to clean it up. All right, let's switch over and take a look at Facebook marketing. Kind of some basics. Facebook is today the largest social sharing site for consumers and for businesses. With 1.4 billion people, it's really too big to ignore. On Facebook, you can share text, links, photos, and videos. And you can share content that engages, informs, and promotes. How often? For most businesses, once a day is plenty, sometimes twice a day if you've got a lot going on. More than that, get a life. The only exception is if you have like a festival or an event, and so for a conference, for a concentrated period of time, maybe you share a little bit more. The big benefit is that you can reach a large audience, especially if you use their advertising platform, and you can kind of build on the relationships you already have. That large audience, you're going to reach them if you create and share the right content. If you are putting information out there that your customers are interested in, that they think is appealing or informative, they're more likely to share it. You have to keep in mind Facebook's algorithm, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And really, if you're going to manage a business page, you need to use the Facebook Insight tool to figure out what's really working and what's not. We're going to take a look at the algorithm and the Insight tool in a moment, but for now I want to talk a bit about content, some best practices. And what's nice is this rule pretty much holds true on almost every social media platform. 50% of the content that you're sharing should be what I'm going to call a little more lighthearted. Ask questions, share videos, have fun conversations. This content is really designed to get likes and shares and comments and interaction. We often share pictures of our office cats and our birthday parties and our building. There's no real business value to that content, but that's the kind of content that gets interaction and it gets shares and likes. And that's what helps us improve our edge rank so we show up more often on Facebook pages. About 30% of your content should be useful. Links to blog posts, links to informative articles, and links to industry trends. And then 20% can be more promotional in nature. Here's a coupon, here's a special, buy now. For a company like ours, we promote our seminars. We're probably more in the 40-40-20 or maybe 50-40-10 category. We don't very often push our product on Facebook. But if you've got more of a consumer product, then that 20% is very appropriate. When it comes to Facebook, there's a lot of different kinds of content that works. Video is really strong, and you can either embed a video right into Facebook or pull something from YouTube. But if you're going to put video on Facebook, rule number one is it has to be short. 60 to 90 seconds, and really, I would suggest that you try to keep it under 60. That doesn't sound very long, but the truth is that people are browsing their Facebook timeline on their phone in between tasks. If your video is more than 60 seconds, people are simply going to turn it off and move on. Photos also work really well in Facebook. After all, it's called Facebook. So an emphasis on pictures of people and pretty pictures of places all work really well. How many photos? The ideal mixture of photos is either 1 or 3 in a post. 1 because you get this great big image that fills the screen, or 3 because you get a nice arrangement like this. More than 3, you get this little plus and it tells you how many pictures are there. Interaction actually drops because now people see 3 images and they're like, oh, those are cool, and they take a closer look. But when they see that +4 or +5 and they're like, wow, I don't have time to look at all those pictures, and so instead of looking at just a few, they don't look at any. You can still do traditional status updates on Facebook, just a little bit of text or a quick question, but the truth is that as more and more people are putting images on Facebook, these text-only posts don't tend to get a lot of interaction. So I would strongly recommend looking to find a way to add a graphic whenever possible. The Facebook has an algorithm, just like Google has a way of deciding who shows up in search. Facebook has their algorithm, and it's called EdgeRank. They decide which posts they're going to show based on what your fans are interested in, how your post performs among other users, and how good your past posts have been. How much interaction have you gotten on other things that you've shared? That's why doing fun things on Facebook is so important. This is, after all, a social network, not just an advertising medium. That's why we always have pictures, again, of our cats. Well, because cats rule the internet. But that's what people like and share, and it gives us an opportunity to stay in their timeline when we have something business-oriented as well. And they also decide based on the kind of things that users have liked in the past. If people have historically liked your posts, you have a better chance of showing up in the timeline in the future. And also how recent. Newer posts get more visibility in the timeline. But if lots of people are commenting and sharing it and interacting with it, there's a chance that even an older post will pop back up. Want to know what's working? Take the time to use Facebook's Insight tool. Log in and see how good your content is. Start by looking at the different types of posts. Figure out what's doing well. Is it a photo, a video, or a link? In this instance, you can see that the photos did significantly better. They all reached about the same number of people, but way more people clicked on it and looked around and interacted with the content. Also look at engagement measures and take a deeper dive to figure out what's going on. For example, you see this curve here, and their reach kind of dropped. It spiked here, and then it dropped and picked up again. What was happening? What caused 147 likes on that particular day? Well, that was October 26th, and you can take a look and go, oh, look at the different content that we shared on that day. Look at which one people really were responding to. Want to get more likes? Share more of the same kind of content. Also take a close look at who engages with your content. Do you have more men? Do you have more women? Are you more likely to get people who are already your fans, or are you reaching that wider audience? Are you getting people who are not your fans to like, share, and look at your information? Also take a look at when your fans are online. There are some obvious things about the time of day and day of the week, but if you dive into the metrics, you may find some things that surprise you. Well, this doesn't surprise me. You can see that in that kind of midnight to 6 a.m., not a lot of people are online. You can also see that for this particular product, the day of the week really doesn't matter. But if you've got a business-to-business product, you probably will be more interested in reaching people during the week. Follow this simple recipe for success with your email. After you've kind of dove into the metrics, you're going to be more prepared to do this. Make sure you remember the 50-30-20 rule with your Facebook content. Try a mixture of video and photos and plain text updates until you figure out what your customer base and your readers are most likely to respond to. Don't be afraid to use a little bit of curated content, links to information that's not necessarily on your blog post or website, but that maybe makes you part of a larger community. For example, we'll often share things that our clients are doing or things that are just happening in our community so people know what's going on. We pay attention to your audience preferences. Give them more of what they want. And now let's take a look at how do you put all of this together to run a Facebook ad. I'm going to show you kind of two versions of this process. One of the things, obviously, Constant Contact makes it easier, and I'm going to show you using the Constant Contact tool, but also just how to do it from Facebook. First thing you got to do is pick a post. Take a look at the kind of content you've been sharing and what people have been interacting with. Find a post that has already done well, that had a lot of interest, that is worth sharing to a wider audience and will probably get additional interaction. Once you've picked your post, now decide who you want to advertise to. You can pick people who like your page, or people who like your page and their friends, or you can choose people through targeting. You can select their geographic region, you can select their age, some things they're interested in, and then you can set your budget. As you create the ad, you can edit your text here to make the message more compelling. When you set your budget, you decide how much you want to spend. You can set a daily budget, $5, $10, $20, $500, whatever you want to do. You can have it run continuously, or you can have it start and end on a particular date. And Facebook will tell you how many people you will be able to reach for that amount of money. You can let Facebook decide how much to pay to bid for every click, or you can set your own budget. The cool thing is, for as little as $5 a day, you can start reaching hundreds and thousands of people. These are real results from the campaigns we ran for a client. And you can see how many website clicks they got, how many people totally saw the ad, that's the reach number. You can see what they paid per click on their website, what their daily budget was, and how much in total they spent. The cool thing was really with these two different campaigns, they spent a total of $36.58. They had 225 people click through their website, and over 10,000 people saw their ad. There are not a lot of advertising vehicles out there that will give you that kind of results for that small investment. Facebook and email and Facebook ads allow you to reach more of your existing fans. They allow you to reach new people, and they allow you to get more from your email program. Using Constant Contact, they've got a wonderful tool that they've added that allows you to create a Facebook ad right from your Constant Contacts account. You can use an existing email as your content. You get to control the look and the feel of the ad, target the right customers, building on the people you already have relationships with. The ads are optimized for mobile and desktop, and you can track performance right within your Constant Contact app. Start with the right email. So this is a great example. This is a promotional email for a footwear company. They decide that's the email they're going to run in their campaign, and you can choose your targeting. You can choose city, state, nationwide, pick the state, decide how long you want the campaign to run. Then you design the ad. You can edit the messaging that will be the introduction to the ad. Here's an example of what the ad will look like. So you can see Here's the newsletter, and here's the ad with a close-up on just the shoes. And this is a different graphic. It's not just pulling the email newsletter, it's pulling. You have the opportunity to change that ad so it has a much more compelling image for Facebook. Great call to action and a learn more button. And then you can track your results. You can see, here's your original email. You have a list of 8,400 people, and 757 people clicked on it. I'm sorry, 757 people opened it, 38 clicked. But then when you ran the boost and you spent $50 to reach 5,000 more people, you actually had 7,500 people who saw the ad and 134 clicks. Look at that. You got almost as much exposure as you had with your original newsletter, and you had 4 times as many people clicked. Simple recipe for success if you're going to create or transform a newsletter into a Facebook ad. Number 1, your primary image should have less than 20% text. Do not write a lot of words in the body. Facebook won't approve the ad. A small little logo or a little bit of buy now or save 20% or something on the image is fine. Keep your titles short. Use keywords, act, buy, refer a friend, hot yoga. Make sure it should be words that tell people what the ad is about. And also, I don't think people are doing a lot of searching yet, but if they did, you want to include them. Make sure you have a strong call to action. Save 50%, act now, expires soon. So where do you go from here? Start working on your email campaigns. Start tweaking and improving the campaigns to create something that really gets great interaction. Pick one of the ones that worked well to promote. Create a Facebook ad and target the right audience. And here's the thing that's really cool. You've got this great group of people that know and love you, and they enjoy hearing from you. With a Facebook ad, you can essentially clone those people, find their friends and neighbors, and advertise to them, and invite them to become part of your community. Run the ad for a short period of time, and then review your results and try again. Quick reminder, good checklist here, an anatomy of an email. Remember the preview pane? Keep your subject line and your pre-header text short and to the point and interesting. Choose a mobile responsive template. Keep it consistent in color and styling with your brand. Put your logo in your email on the left or the center, never the right. If you're going to use pictures in your email, make them interesting, make them count, and make them clickable. If I roll over this picture in your email, I expect I'm going to be able to go somewhere. This picture should be as much a call to action as the button that says sign up today. Less is more. Keep the email short, just a few images, just 1 or 2 calls to action. Keep that first button above the fold. Don't be afraid to use these social media buttons and encourage people to share your newsletter on social media. Quick checklist for Facebook. Tell your story in 90 characters or less. Do not write the great American novel here at the top of the ad. You can, no one will read it. Make sure your image doesn't have a lot of text in it. Choose an image that really showcases your products, something that's going to grab people on Facebook. Strong calls to action, keep them short, 25 characters or less, and tell people why they need to click on the ad. The offer expires, limited seating. Okay, if we've whet your appetite and you want to learn more, there are wonderful seminars on ConstantContact.com. You can also check out the Roundpeg.biz website. If you want to find out if this product works for you, check out a free 60-day trial. You can find more resources at blogs.constantcontact.com/library. And if you've got questions, be sure to send me an email at lorraine@roundpeg.biz, and I'll be happy to help you out. If you've enjoyed today's program, check out our website for other upcoming events. Thanks for joining us.